Good morning. We are team number 1 and we are here to talk about Tesla.
For a company like Tesla, it is important to know what are the risks that could put them in jeopardy. To do this, it is necessary to take a look at how their competitors work, in order to reduce the things that work and fix the one that doesn't. In the case of Tesla, the risks around are the complexity of their supply chain that causes a shortage of semiconductors, their high expectations about creating a fully automated factory, and the arrogance to believe they were making a disruption in the automotive industry. Later, we will explain how Tesla works to avoid this risk. The way cars are being made these days present some great vulnerabilities. As we saw during the pandemic, producing parts in other countries becomes a problem when frontiers get closed or the industry in that places were stopped. The development of the software shows some major vulnerabilities like their security fails, where as an example we can find cases of cars being hacked and controlled from remote areas, problems with the recognition system that still cause some trouble with the autopilot mode. An example could be that the system sometimes doesn't distinguish between a cone and a person. The payment system also shows problems sometimes, like excessive charges for charging batteries or not recognizing payments. The good news is that Tesla was capable of solving these vulnerabilities before they become unmanageable.
As we have seen, the main problem for Tesla was the shortage of semiconductors. As the product depends on the software used by each car, only certain types of semiconductors work with certain types of software. In the past, Tesla had already overcome a problem related to the shortage of some important material, in that case, the batteries. The solution to both that problem and the semiconductor problem was similar. Tesla took on the task of solving it internally, and instead of relying on semiconductors that work with a single software, they adapted the software to work with any type of semiconductor available. If alternate suppliers are not immediately available, a company should determine how much extra stock to hold in the interim. Being able to maintain inventory is not as big as a problem for Tesla as it might be for any other manufacturer, since Tesla only has 4 different models as opposed to Toyota, for example, which has 40. The counterpart to this is that Tesla, being customer-driven and working on customer demand, often has to keep their customers in line once they have placed their order. However, one advantage of this is to be able to continue selling add-ons or luxury service to the customer while the purchase is being finalized.
Process innovation simplifies decision-making. It lets leaders make data-driven decisions. Having accurate information exactly when needed easily becomes a competitive advantage. Having an automated system, for example, allows all company departments to know the status of any product or service. The impact is especially relevant when this information is generated in real time. In 2016, Tesla faced problems, particularly in supply chain management. Tesla was aiming to increase production of its Model 3 consumer electric car to 500,000 vehicles per year by 2020. But that wasn't counting on a number of problems in the Model 3 supply chain, particularly issues with the vehicle's battery design, as well as manufacturing automation issues. What is the result? Only 220 Models 3 were delivered as October 2017. For many, the Model 3 supply chain is a cautionary tale of automation. Tesla has tried to implement automation and technology for its own sake, rather than from an identified need or benefit. Tesla has managed to avoid the burden of the semiconductor supply crisis. The company built an in-house capability to write the software code that runs its car, while its competitors relied on suppliers for this expertise. While this move expanded the scope of core competencies and was more costly, it allowed Tesla to rewrite its software code to fit and work with all the semiconductors the company could procure. Tesla's control and agility over its software gave the company inherent flexibility to switch suppliers and semiconductors as needed. And all of this in response to a flawed supply and therefore a poor choice of supplier in the beginning. The assembly line that packs the battery cells ran into trouble because it was too technologically complicated for that supplier.